Welcome to this breaking news update. I'm Victoria Rubadiri. We've been following developments out of Sugoi, Uasin Gishu County, where the rural home of Deputy President William Ruto has been attacked. What is coming up on your screens right now are live pictures from the scene. What we know right now is an unknown number of attackers are said to have forced their way into the home shortly before 1 p.m. this afternoon. According to reports from Saturday Nation, the assailants overpowered a police officer who was manning the gate and entered the home. A series of gunshots could still be heard from the compound of the home after 3 p.m. GSU Recce team are currently at the home and have taken over the operation, engaging the attackers who are still there. As you can see, a crowd has formed on the road leading to the Deputy President's Sugoi home. This apparently happened just after the Deputy President left. He was making his way to a campaign rally in Kitale. And these are actually earlier pictures from our team who is currently on the ground. Lois Wangoi, in fact, has been following the proceedings since they arrived there about an hour ago. And the Deputy President has not made reference to this attack, at least in the rally at Kapkatet in Kericho County. He's expected also to make his way to Narok East for another campaign rally with the President Uhuru Kenyatta, but no word from him or anyone from the Deputy President's office or any official channels of communication addressing this matter. Again, if you are just joining us, these are earlier pictures from an attack at the Sugoi home of the Deputy President William Ruto. The attackers overpowered the officer who was guarding the home of the Deputy President and made their way into the compound. There has been a gunshot fire actually being heard from the compound even now, at least from what we've heard from our team that are stationed there on the ground. We'll be speaking to Lois Wangoi shortly, who'll be giving us more information on just what happened. Lois, if you can hear me, at least from what you've observed over the last hour, what has been happening and what has the GSU Recce team been doing, at least to try and quell the situation there?
Indeed, Vicky, as you note, if the gunshots that could be heard from the Deputy Governor's residence to where we're stationed about 100 meters from his compound is anything to go by, then everything insinuates to an engagement that has been going on between the armed attackers and the team of security personnel drawn from the Recce squad, the GSU, and other police officers that have made their way here to try and combat the situation and bring calm to these DP's home after armed attackers attacked the residents after overpowering one of the armed security men who was manning the compound. About 10 minutes before this live broadcast is that I saw an ambulance just driving in, perhaps an indication that the engagement going in may have suffered some casualties. It is yet not clear whether that is on the part of the armed attackers or even the security personnel. Of course, that is subject to confirmation from the security team much later, but indeed we did see an ambulance just driving in, and that could tell a lot about what is going on. And about 30 minutes before that, we did see a number of security personnel just make their way here, and in a span of between 10 to every 15 minutes, we could see more teams being deployed here, from between the numbers of 7 to around 10 armed
We were just speaking with Lois Wangoi, giving us an update on what is happening. She has been following the activity and events there from the Sugoi home of the Deputy President. She's been there for the last hour. She says that the GSU Recce team has been engaging the attackers who are still within the compound of the Deputy President. They've been having periodic security teams come and try to deal with the situation. There is no word yet, though, on the current condition of the officer who was manning the gate of the Deputy President. However, Lois did say that an ambulance had been seen rushing to the home of the Deputy President, perhaps to get any individuals who had been harmed in the exchange between the security officers and the attackers who are still in the compound of the Deputy President's home. We are yet to find out the condition of anyone who has been engaged in that exchange. Again, if you are just joining us, shortly before 1 p.m., an unknown number of attackers overpowered a security officer who was manning the Sugoi home of the Deputy President. They have since been there. There is no word in terms of what their motive could be, why they decided to attack now. We do understand that the Deputy President was there. He's actually in Uasin Gishu County on the campaign trail with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And shortly after he left the home heading to a campaign rally in Kitale, we do know that the attackers struck and have been there since. We have not heard any word from the Deputy President or anyone within his camp, any communication from his end in terms of why this could be happening. I'm sure they are also trying to ascertain what could be behind this attack. He was at a rally in Kapkatet and he did not mention whatsoever anything to do with the attack. What you are seeing on your screens right now are actually earlier pictures from the incident that broke just before 1 p.m. Our team has been following the activities there. GSU Recce team have been deployed and have been engaging the attackers. Again, we do not know how many are there or involved in this attack, but we will be bringing updated information when and once we get it here at NTV. But we have been following this at least since 1 p.m. when this news broke. Lois Wangoi and our team are there on the ground following the proceedings. The very latest, at least from what she told us, is an ambulance did make it to the home, the Sugoi home of Deputy President William Ruto. We're not sure whether to answer to calls of the injured on the security side or on the attackers' side. I understand that we have Lois Wangoi back up again with some more information. Lois, what more can you tell us?
Indeed, and just before the ambulance made its way here, Vicky, just to note is that we saw a number of security officers drawn from the Recce squad, say about 4 or 5 of them, just leaving the residence of the DP and just observing from their clothes and from the mood in which they were in. You could tell theirs was a heavy task, just going on about trying to bring the situation here to a calm after armed gunmen attacked the residence of the DP in Sugoi here in the county of Uasin Gishu. You could see their clothes in mud, others tattered and sort of torn, and that could almost illustrate that indeed there's a heavy engagement going on inside the residence of the DP. Remember, the area has been cordoned off, and members of the public and also journalists have not been able to gain access to the residence or even to get closer to try and get a sneak peek of what exactly is going on. The police are manning that area very, very closely, and as I noted, security personnel and security teams continue to streaming by the minute, perhaps to just gain more support to try and bring the situation to a calm. We could now just try and talk to some residents who were here earlier before we actually get here and get to learn exactly what happened or what they were able to observe in this whole ordeal. Tutaanza kwa majina yako tafadhali. Songe nyuma tafadhali, songe nyuma tuangalia pale.
Naitwa Felix Kiprono Kirui.
Felix Kiprono Kirui, unaweza kutuelezea nini kutokana na mkasa huu? Ulifika saa ngapi? Umesikia nini ama ni nini uliweza kushuhudia?
Mimi ni jirani wa hapa karibu na ilikuwa ni mwendo wa saa 5 saa 6 hapo. Ndio tuliweza kusikia mlio wa risasi. Na tuliweza kukimbia kwa kujua nini. Na
Apologies for that technical hitch. That was Sugoi talking to residents who have made their way to the Sugoi home of Deputy President William Ruto. They, of course, are curious onlookers to try and find out just what happened. It is an ongoing situation. The attackers are still there on the ground. Sugoi was just telling us that she saw between 3 to 4 Reke unit officers who were leaving the home. They appeared to have been engaged in some heavy combat, at least from the look of their clothing. Also, an ambulance was sent to the location. We're not sure whether that means that the security officers or even attackers had been injured. And that, of course, we'll be getting more specific details in terms of this case, the motive behind it. We have not heard from the Deputy President or anyone from his office to give us more information as to what they know. We'll be following the developments from this breaking incident in Sugoi, Uasin Gishu County, as our team continues to gather more information. That does it for me and the NTV team here. We'll be back with more information from that incident in Sugoi, Uasin Gishu County.